Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Joji and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I have another holiday launch to review with you guys. This one is from Nars. This is the Stargaze Eyeshadow Palette. I cannot wait to try. So I'm going to give you some swatches. Also, I'm going to explain what the textures are feeling, the price, and everything about the product. Let's start with the outside packaging, and all the ingredients of each shade is at the back. Also, this palette has 1 grams with 12 pans. Look at this one. I feel like it's just cute, but it's not as pretty as the way they used to be. I feel like it's not really standing out to me. The shades are at the back. This one has 12-month shelf life. I'm going to show you the color story inside. I honestly haven't seen it. This is going to be my first time. And as usual, Nars packaging. This really hard to open. Here it is. Ta-da! Look at that color story. What catches my eye is actually this lilac purplish shade. This palette has 5 mattes, 2 satins, and 5 metallic shades as well. Look at that. I really like it. The mirror is always good with Nars. They always have a full-size mirror, and this mirror can stand by itself. It's not like a flat one, so it's really nice when you're trying to do your makeup. I'm actually going to use it today. So let's go ahead and give you swatches. Alrighty, so before I touch this palette, I'm going to give you one more close up on this one. Look at that, it's so pretty. And the shade lilac, I'm the most excited with this one. So let's go ahead and give you swatches. I'm going to start from top row, left to right. Here we go. So the first shade, it's called Hayworth, and this is the sort of like metallic with some glitter into it that you can see. So right there. It's not showing as much, but yes, the light kind of like catches that glittery. And next one is a matte finish, and this one is called Heartbreak. This one looks really pretty and its swatch is really nice. I'm excited with that color as well. Really good. And next up is called Hollywood. This is a satin, I believe, and it has this like nice pink touch into it, almost like a rosy kind of like cooler undertone, but its swatch is really good. And then the last color from the first row is this one here. It's a matte finish. It's definitely a cooler undertone with lots of mauve-ish color. My swatches are not doing well, but I'm trying my best, you guys. Next up is the second row, the shade Go Deep. This is a matte finish, and look at that. I'm so excited. Next one is Lost Phillies. This is a metallic shade. Wow, that one swatches really well. I really like that. And next one is called Instant Stardom, and this is the color that I am looking forward to try. Definitely, this is the lilac shade in the palette. It swatches really nice here. I hope that it translates well on the eyes. And next shade would be Lights Out. This one is a metallic shade, and here is the swatch. Okay, so that one swatches really well. Okay, so third row, first shade is called Double Trouble. So this is a deeper shade from the palette. I think it's the darkest one. And that's how it looks like. So that one is a little patchy to me. Next up, the shade called Swoon. It's really deep and sort of like a deep eggplant color into it. So really like that as well. Next up is a metallic shade. Headliner. Ooh, that one is really pretty. And the last shade is called Walk of Fame. This is a matte finish. Oh my goodness, that one actually swatches really well. So here are all the swatches. Let's go ahead and start the application. Alrighty, let's do the application, but first thing, let me put a powder under my eye because I have a feeling that I'm gonna get a fallout. Let me just prepare my skin because I already have foundation, I have blushes, so I don't want any mess on my face. I'm gonna go with the brown right here because it's just so good and it looks really nice for a transition. I'm using my NYX brush number 16, so I'm gonna dip into this eye right here and see how this pays off. Okay, so that is so far the first dip. I'm going to dip another time. Okay, yeah, so that's definitely a really good brown transition. I really like that. Already, first shade is done. Now let's dip into this shade right here, this kind of a deeper orangey brown or brick. It's always been my go-to, and I feel like this palette is really going to be my kind of everyday palette. I just see a lot of colors here that I'm more drawn into, so I'm excited. That is the second shade that I dip, and yeah, it's showing color. Nars matte are actually really good. They have a really good matte, but sometimes I just wish that they would actually come up with a little bit more color, because most of the time it's neutral and they would just put like this bright color, just one. I wish there was like at least 2 or 3 kind of interesting color, but still not complaining. Okay, by the way, this brush is a Sigma 33. Did I just say E-Sigma? It's Sigma E33. I'm sure you're familiar with this. So I have placed that second color. I'm just going to dip in one more time to deepen up a little bit around my crease here. Alright, so second shade is done. I'm excited to dip into this color right here. This one is the last swatch that I did. Oh my goodness, that swatches really well. Make sure you don't have way too much product on the brush. So just kind of try it out first how it translates, because sometimes the way you swatch is different when a brush is actually picking up the product. Here you go, I dip in there and definitely see color. And dipping it one more time. So this one is nice, but I feel like it's not spreading the way how the first 2 mattes are. So let me just kind of use my NYX brush. But it's a beautiful color. I just feel like it's not as flexible. It doesn't move smoothly like the other 2. Okay, so there you have it. Up next, I'm going to use a different brush. This one is from Nars, number 23. This is a satin finish, so let's see how this one kind of pack on the eyes. I'm gonna put it here. Be careful with the shade because it can be very messy. It can be very messy. If you're not careful, it can look like you made a mistake. And then next up, I'm going to apply this really deep shade right here. This is almost like a brown, and I just kind of apply it here, outer corner. I wanted to create this kind of nice eyeliner look, more elongated. I don't want to have a sharp look on this one. And I want to bring this on the bottom so that we can get this like nice smoky look. Now I want to go into the pink over here, and this is how it looks like again right there. So I'm going to use my finger to apply this because the feeling is a bit rough on the pan, so I wanted to see how it actually looks around the eyes. It looks really pretty, you guys. If I look at this way, I'm not sure if you can see that on the light, but that is very stunning shade. I love that. Like, oh my goodness. This is the prettiest shade I have seen for today so far. I will definitely use this palette every day, I feel like. Now, it's very interesting because I wanted to incorporate this like light shade here, the lilac, into this makeup. So I definitely wanted to put this in the corner of my eye. So first dip, I didn't really see a lot of color, but I'm gonna try to see if we can get a build up on this one. Okay, so that is the second dip. I don't think it translates really well the way how I swatches earlier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a MAC Fix Plus. Okay, so this is very surprising, you guys, but it actually works. Do you see that like lilac shade on the corner of my eyes? The only thing that I noticed once I spray this product with a Fix Plus, it just gives it a little bit more darker because the product is more dense together. So it's not as bright when you look at the palette compared to my eyes, and also on top of that is my undertone already. So it's not the same. I feel like if you have more of a fair skin, like light skin, this would look different on you. Alright, so far, that's the look that I created. I'm going to apply the same thing onto the bottom of my eyes. So there it is. Next up, I'm just going to use this shade right here, the lightest satin shade on the palette, and just apply this into the corner of my eyes and see if this gives us a little bit more pop and brightness. Ooh, that looks so pretty, you guys. Look at that. This look actually turns out really well. I'm going to finish the rest of the eyes, and when I come back, let's do the review and the thought and all of that. So stay right there. And here it is, guys, my final eye makeup look from the Nars eyeshadow. What do you think? I'm pretty happy with how the look turned out. I actually added a liquid eyeliner and also mascara. But before we get into my final thought about the palette, I just want to point out under my eyes. So remember earlier, before I start the application, I added the powder just to make sure that we don't get like a lot of fallout. But looking at it more personal and close up, I am actually really surprised that I don't have a lot of fallout right now. So there, like very rarely, like maybe there's like a few like kind of glitter around my eyes. I feel like I don't even see it. So I'm just gonna clean this out and show you that it really didn't. So nothing. I'm just kind of sweeping away the powder. Let's get into my final thought. This palette retails for $80 Canadian. US price is on your screen, and this one has 12 shades into the palette. So there's definitely two shades that I feel like it is a little bit more rough and more textured, which is this and this. So more of this like burgundy kind of pink color, and then the matte is very, very nice. It applies really well. It is flexible. The only shade that I feel like it was harder to kind of spread around the eyes or blend is this one right here, but overall it still did work. I really love these deeper shades here. These two satin finish, actually this kind of eggplanty-ish here. This is very nice. I really like it. And of course I am also disappointed with one shade, which is, you probably guessed already, this one right here, the lilac, which is I'm looking forward the most. So I'm a bit disappointed with the shade, but overall the rest is, I think it's very good, and I think I'm gonna use this in the future with a different kind of method. I'm just gonna kind of experiment a little bit more, but overall I feel like the palette is worth it, and I feel like this is one of the palette that I'm really going to reach most of my days because all the neutrals here are just beautiful. But I think for the price of $80, if this is going to go on sale at Sephora or on their website, it's probably way better if you guys can wait a little bit. If you are dying to get the palette right away, of course you can get it. So I think that's it from me. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a big thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and I will see you on my next review. Bye guys!